nice, refreshing break. It is now time to start again, and I'm very, very pleased to welcome our keynote speaker for the day, Mr. Philippe Moutou. Mr. Moutou is Director and Deputy Head of Interesses, the Advanced Studies Group of the Global Business Unit 6 within the Thales Group. So he will provide us with some very, very interesting perspective on the artificial intelligence and its role actually in the industrial and strategic development of Europe and beyond. So let me thank once again Mr. Moutou for his availability to be with us today. And I think, Mr. Moutou, you should be able to share your slide and start your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. I should be able to share my slide, I suppose, but you need to I think you need to help me because you are sharing the slides.
I have stopped my screen share. I think you should be able to. If not, I can also.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Should be okay now.
Yes, now it's working. Great.
Now it's on, I think. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, yes, fine. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you very much for inviting me to your event. I hope I won't bother you too much with my presentation. So just to make sure that everyone understands the context, I've been working on the European side with Thales for now five and a half years. Have changed job, so that position you have on the slides is my last position inside Thales. So I have changed job. I work now for Thales Australia. So it's not exactly the same area, okay? But anyway, things are still okay on context. So this is a very short presentation taking you through what is the actual status of the European position on AI. So as you see, it is called a global human-centered ecosystem of trust. I picked up the words from the European Commissioner, Ursula von der Leyen, because this is the way she presents today artificial intelligence inside Europe. So let's start about 4 years ago. 4 years ago, AI was, on the top of the hype. It is still, I think, a bit of top of the hype. Europe was not part of the game. I think most of you can agree on that. The European position was was lost between movement in the world. The movement in the world were done first of all by the GAFA and some of the big players like Netflix and the Airbnb, for example. And it was clearly on the fast-moving consumer good market. So some of you may be familiar with the 4P marketing strategy, price, promotion, place, which has completely changed on the past years with internet becoming the first advertising revenue. It has changed to what do you want to buy, why you should buy it, and when is the better time for you to buy it. So it's completely different from the 4P we used to know for a long time. The key element here is the freedom of data, the freedom, the fact that data are free and collected by these players. China at that time choose a very strong B2B manufacturing positioning, and they also began to, buy manufacturing technology to try to master it around the world. And one of the good examples, the acquisition of KUKA in Germany. This is the way they try to set up their positioning in AI. They also were very strongly positioning themselves in all committees around EU regulations, or even large world regulations, lobbying or association. Japan at that time was building funding instruments.
I think we cannot see your slides. You're still on your first.
You cannot see the slides. Do you want to let me get out of it?
Mm-hmm. Now, yes. We see your PowerPoint.
Do you want to?
You can also keep.
Can I stay with the PowerPoint?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Is that okay?
Yeah, fine. Okay. Thank you.
So let me just go back to where I was. Japan chose the service to the person, and they were investing a lot into. Is that better? Make it a bit bigger. They were investing a lot into the service to the person, and they were building funding instrument. At that time, again, South Korea was filling patents like there was no tomorrow, essentially on one market, which is electronic consumer goods. What was the answer of Europe? The European answer were a three-step strategy. The first one was building the DIH in Europe. The second one was a call, ICT-26, the first call, and then several calls in ICT-48, ICT-49, and ICT-02. The complete picture was 150 million euro investment, not a small amount, to catch up. Essentially, building an ecosystem, essentially turned into, building from the research point of view. And the third answer was, it's going to come. It's a 21 billion euro investment through Digital Europe, focusing on three topics: high performance computing, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and a large topic on advanced digital skills, building it through Europe. So it's interesting to see that that 21 billion investment, which was planned, was really through a new concept. Well, it's an old concept, but revamped, Digital Europe. At the same time, there is a lot of constraint you can see coming from one side of the world, but there are other constraints coming from China, or even Japan, or even the Eastern countries. You will see that in next slides later on. But US sanctions are something that some people sometimes don't really realize are a strong constraint for industrial in Europe. They have constraint on finance, they have constraint on people, they have constraint on trade, and they have constraint on technology using different weapons, and I use the word weapons because it's even if it is economical constraint, it is weapons. It is quite a strong war. And US sanctions, for example, if you look at Siemens, they lost 1.5 billion in a railway contract with Iran. The petrol company who lost 2 billion. Airbus losses 19 billion. So it's a lot of constraint, and it gives for Europe a slot. It gave for Europe a slot where to be, which was not easy to see. And then comes the COVID-19 effect, because everything was the picture I described to you was there before 2020. And in 2019 and 2020, the COVID-19 came on. The COVID-19 changed completely the pictures on investments of tomorrow. Digital and data, where you're focused on, are key for the future, but health and wellness becomes very, very strong. Homing is essential, and of course, Industry 4.0 is one of the most impacting long-term trend we have to look at. Global mobility suddenly fall down from the focus and the perspective of our companies and European as a whole. So that's something you have to have in mind. COVID-19 effect also changed the way China looks at the world. Their GDP in 2020 grew faster than the US one, and also they choose completely to refocus on the domestic development. They did set in place a lot of program to change the way they were dealing with technologies. And these programs, they are at core of the Chinese development. It's 6 major programs, one on building their own 5G infrastructure, one on artificial intelligence, one on building big data centers using their big players, UA, Tencent, Alibaba, and they are focusing on how to bring that together to build their own big data center. They have their own industrial internet. They have focused on how to develop ultra high voltage companies to cover their electric need. They have their plan on electric vehicle. So it's a technology roadmap on the next 10 years, which is completely new. It's a mega plan, and they change the focus. They reduce their dependency on US technologies. They build their own standards. So the China world is changing very, very, very fast. Like always, when they choose to do something, they bring the plan. This is, as you all know, not completely democratic environment. So they move forward very fast. So what is the picture? The picture has changed. What was free becomes now very expensive. And the focus is on autonomous domain. What was just one positioning to maintain global worldwide position becomes totally different. You have now 20 AI initiative zone across China. When I talk about initiative zone, it's like Europe. You see, so the size of the game is not the same. And Japan also choose to focus serves to the person. So maybe you don't know who is Tetsushi Sakamoto. He's the minister in Japan. People I know, they call him the minister of oldness. Well, it's not exactly true, but it is the minister in charge of the revitalization of the people in Japan. How do we care about our older people? How do we use technology to help, an aging population? How do we do it? So they have created a specific minister to do it. So it's a choice. And South Korea, after filling all these patents, they have chosen to reshore it. They have chosen to amplify their diversification inside South Korea. And if you look at it, all these big companies, they really are now, trying to find a way to cover all the logistics problems and logistics issues they have, and also to make sure that they can maintain their population in a good health. So what is the COVID-19 effect in Europe? Same 3 steps, but a 4-step. The 4th step is what the commissioner has announced, a 750 billion historical recovery fund. Not all of it is for AI, you know that, but it is unique. We have never faced such investment from Europe as of today. And that investment, and I pick up the words from Mrs. Van Leyen, is, excuse me for that, that investment is totally focused on digital sovereignty. What she said in a speech she had in 2009 and 20, I think, no, it was in September 2020, she said, Europe digital sovereignty, a question of existential importance. So it's key to understand that this is the first time that someone from the European Commission used the word sovereignty in an official speech. This is not the word we were using before. We said we have to think about how to protect our environment, but the word sovereignty is something new. And of course, investment in the digital infrastructure, AI, cybersecurity, all these things are quite key. If you look at how do you translate that into technical choices, and I've seen, I was not really focusing and listening on all the presentation you've done, but I was there listening. But I've seen that the technical choice that we all talking about, they are there. Improved performance, design AI tools to nurture performances using, the techniques which are key today, which is coming from ML. So of course, the merging, like you presented, one of you presented the merging with this ADRA concept of the connections with data, robotics, and HPC and AI has an impact. It has a total direct visible impact. It is one choice for one direct value. You decrease cost and you have a total cost of ownership very clearly understandable. But there is something else to do. The something else is changing from how do you use AI to why do you use it. And this is the future. The future is what I think all Europeans are pursuing, is changing the way you deal with AI, making sure that it is human-centered AI, making sure that ethics, explainability, reliability are key everywhere, but understanding that there is not one unique solution. So putting the question why AI will help human life is becoming more and more important, because then it will help to understand why and how do you do prototyping, do you do de-risking, and how protecting human values are essential. Of course, it is a very complex way to go forward, because it's not one choice for one direct value, it's one choice for 1,000 of non-direct value. So it's a difficult roadmap. It's not easy to see how we will get there. So there is a concept, it's called AI algorithm engineering. It's a very difficult concept. When I discuss with my colleagues in the research world, they have a vision of it. When I discuss with my industrial colleagues, they have a vision of it. So it's not very clear. It's there is a German institute who has done a lot of work on that. It's interesting to look at what they published, because I think it explained quite well the concept. The concept of making sure you understand that you're not covering all the hypotheses, and there is in one algorithm, and that there's a way to deal with it by the way you design the algorithm. So I'm getting to the end of that keynote, and if you want to go forward and to keep something in mind, where is the future? You have to think algorithm engineering. It's a difficult concept. You have to think on how do we build that. It will bring the question of digital numerical technologies, the digital twins, the concept of experimenting differently. This is one first step. The second step is because climate is a key issue, because when you do digital technology, you consume powers, and because data, we have a lot of them now, think about fixing the data somewhere. Don't move them. You know, install the data somewhere. Don't move them, don't share them. Then you know who has the data and who it belongs to. And think, and this is the future of computer science, things traveling algorithm. It's the same, you know, it's the same revolution as the one we had in the first 1980s when we changed the way we did programming. We moved to procedural programming to object-oriented programming. Procedural programming is where program exchange data. Object-oriented programming is where data exchange programs. Here it's the same. Think about you exchange algorithm. So this will change the way you deal with cybersecurity. This will change the way you deal with power consumption, and keep the data where they are produced, where they belong to. You asked me to talk about how I see the future of Industry 4.0. These are quite a few messages, and I hope it will bring some questions in your discussion, and it give you another way to look at the future of the things you're working on, and which I think are very important for all of us. So if you have any questions, I'm ready to answer.
Yeah, many thanks, Mr. Mutu. It's indeed actually what we wanted to achieve today, to have a bit of a reflection, let's say, on a higher level on the activities that we are actually doing. So getting this nice perspective is, of course, beneficial for all of us. There is, of course, really a lot to unpack here, and I think it is clear that the key role that AI and in general such enabling technologies have in the development of the industrial ecosystem, but in general of society, is really quite big. Of course, we'd like to cover these very fascinating topics again, as they are very crucial for us as AI pilot, but in general as Vanguard initiative. So, of course, we will actually cover them again. Thanks a lot, Mr. Mutu, for your time and for the really interesting presentation. I think we can now move.
Yes, just thank you very much. These slides are open, so you can share it.
Great. They'll be then available on our website, on the Vanguard website.
So they open, the Thales Open, we share with everyone. So feel free to use it. And I think you have a complete set, Stefano. Okay, thank you very much. And if people have any questions, they can send it to you, and I think you will do the back to me.
Of course.
Yeah. Thank you again. Have a nice day. I'm sorry I have to leave you. I have another meeting at 12 in center of Paris. So I got 15 minutes to do 20 kilometers in Paris, which is like
A challenge, yeah?
like a, like a good challenge. Yes.
Exactly. Real world challenge. No,
Thank you very much again.
yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you again.
Thank you,
Thank you
Philippe.
again for that and for this very interesting presentation. And of course, we will publish all the slides, not just this keynote, all the slides on our website afterwards. So they will be accessible to you all. As I was mentioning, let's now move on to the next session of the day, which is a session that pivots around what's next, more concrete, yeah, for the AI pilot. We will be discussing some very interesting concepts to be developed within the AI pilot for the next year. And to do so, we actually have invited, and we are very happy to have with us Professor Igor Skrians, I hope I pronounced it correctly, from University of Ljubljana, so from Slovenia. A region is already partner of artificial intelligence pilot, and also Beatriz Vinegra from the Civil UAV initiative of Galicia, which is also another region already partner of the initiative. They will both provide us with a pitch, we call them pitch, on two different possible demo cases to be developed within the AI pilot for the next year. And the idea, just to give you an overview, the idea behind this session is to help this demo cases concept that you will hear in a while to get some traction, yeah, from you as AI pilot region, which may be interested in the topics. You are maybe willing to develop such ideas further in the one of the demo cases. So without stealing too much time from our colleagues, let's start this session now with the first concept, which is iSense, Intelligent Subsensor for Online Estimation of Real-Time Measurable Process Variables, Process Monitoring, Fault Detection, and Control. Professor Skrians, Igor, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Stefano. I hope you hear me. So I'm going to present this proposal for a demo project called Intelligent Soft Sensors for Online Estimation of Process Variables for Process Monitoring, Fault Detection and Control. My name is Igor Skrians. I'm coming from Faculty of Electrical Engineering, University of Ljubljana, Slovenia. I'm the head of the Department for Systems Control and Cybernetics. So what is the purpose of this demo? So it's actually a way how to involve the soft sensors into the process industry. So the soft sensors will allow us to estimate, for example, the variables which are not directly measurable, and they can also be from different processes wherever they appear. This is one possible use. So unmeasurable variables or measurables which cannot be online measured, but they can be measured, of course, offline in the laboratory. The second possible use would be a redundant use of this kind of sensors, where we have the working hard sensors, but of course they can fall out, they can be unreliable, and we use the soft sensors as a redundant use to estimate the variables. So what are the overall objectives? So we would like to implement the well-known data-driven intelligent algorithms, which can be used for design of this kind of sensors, not just for estimating the variables, but also for let's say, fall detection systems development. Starting from the basic definition or basic design, we would like to have a automatic design of sensors without any operator or engineer interruption or interaction, where at the first stage, those algorithms, those sensors will be made from the history, from the data obtained from the laboratory analysis, from the previous measurements. And of course, those measurements obtained in a different way from the laboratory analysis or from the previous measurements. This is one possible use, and the other one is from online data stream measurements. So what is the purpose? The purpose would be to decrease the costs of setting up those kind of measurement systems, setting up the fall detection systems, to improve the control, to make possible also the optimization of this kind of industrial processes, to make it more efficient. So what would be the structure and the scope of those demos? So we divided the whole structure into the 5 modules. So first of all, we will start with the pre-processing. So the pre-processing of the data should be done. Also, sometimes the design of measurements should be made. So the design pre-processing model is the first part of this structure for data acquisition, data pre-processing. Then we have this offline module where actually we are dealing with nonlinear identification from the historical data. So module for offline identification, nonlinear identification, basically. Then this module where we are dealing with the data from the stream. So online module for nonlinear identification, which is actually a part very important to have ability to change the structure of the module model during the operation. This is, let's say, a part of identification of the model of the plant. And then, of course, we have the next module where we will explode make the exploitation of this module. Means we will use it for soft sensing, we will use it for monitoring this kind of model. We will use it for forecasting, fall detection, or control. And of course, at the end, a module where we will actually present everything in a very transparent way for a user. So let's say it's a graphical user interface module to make those things interpretable for the users. So it's basically in this demo mission, it goes for the exploitation of artificial intelligence techniques for nonlinear modeling from the data, of course, and being used for development of soft sensors, where, of course, artificial intelligence techniques are presented and actually used everywhere in all technologies applied horizontally, and of course they have the appearance everywhere. We are proposing the structure which allows everyone to get involved, from the industrial enterprises or SMEs, of course, to develop specific solutions in this framework. The structure may be spread to all regions or can be specialized for in a certain region to the priority sectors which are there more important. Then the regions which are currently involved is, of course, Slovenia, Then we have agreement with, or agreement, as Rudy told me, with Emilia-Romagna, Trento, and Baden-Württemberg. So of course, this demo network is in the progress. We would like to ask the interested partners to join, to participate. And of course, where these problems arise from those industries where these problems are more important and crucial. What are the target groups? First of all, I would like to mention that, of course, there is a lot of industrial processes where those kind of problems arise, and we already have some temporary domain, expertise in the wastewater treatment industry, pharmaceutical industry, chemical and biochemical industry. What is actually potential industry domain? It's wherever actually is a need to have this redundant sensor or replacement of faulty physical sensor to measure certain variable. And of course, everywhere where you can do some kind of relation between the other measured variables and the observed variable. So thinking in the way of AI enhanced correlation between the variables inside the process. If I'm talking about the activities of our group, which was already done in this direction, I would say that this, what is now proposed in this demo, is already a solution somewhere between the laboratory prototype and the industrial pilot. We are currently involved in the big industrial project in Horizon 2020 called Inevitable, where we are trying to actually develop the full model of temperature estimation for the refinement liquid steel phase in the electrical arc furnaces. What are the other activities we've done? We developed the soft sensor for bioreactor. This was a complete industrial application and industrial pilot in Novartis in Slovenia. So it's actually automatic feeding of mammal cells where you cannot measure the number of cells directly in the bioreactor. So using Raman spectroscopy and laboratory analysis of those specters, you can then, of course, estimate online from the Raman spectra. You can estimate the number of cells inside the bioreactor, and accordingly you can feed those cells, because optimal feeding would result in better production of substrate, medical substrates. Then another soft sensor and fault detection system was developed for wastewater treatment plant. It was a study, but according to the real data from the wastewater treatment plant, where again are important variables, for example, concentration of oxygen inside the reservoirs with wastewater, and accordingly the control should be done. And of course, if those sensors are failing, then the control is not optimal. So we did do the redundant sensor, soft sensor, to estimate the oxygen concentration inside this tank. And of course, in the case of failure of the hard sensor, the soft sensor estimate the right value of oxygen concentration. So then are those soft sensors for steel industry. And we have a lot of experience with the soft sensors in laboratory equipment inside our laboratory of control systems and cybernetics. What would be the planned activities? Of course, we have to select co-lead regions, define working groups from those interested regions, then define the industry domains for the demo cases, and of course introduce and invite regional industrial partners. Oh, sorry. And of course, because there should be some overlapping, I think, with the other pilots, we could find those possible correlations with the other pilots to see what can be done as this intersection. And of course, select the demo facilities. The team now is the Competence Center for Advanced Contract Technologies from Slovenia, University of Ljubljana, and Institute Jožef Stefan. And what would be the target beneficiaries? For research technological organization would be those from wastewater area, chemical industry, pharmaceutical industry, and from the part of let's say system problems would be the systems would be the organization working in control, artificial intelligence, of course, and from the part of SMEs, pardon. Of course, those who are working with integration of automation, producers of automation equipment, and the others also. So that would be everything from my side for now. Thank you.
Many thanks, Igor, for the presentation. Of course, feel free to get in touch directly with the proposers of this demo case, or get in touch with us using the official, let's say, communication channels of the iPilot, and we will be happy to support the first conversations.
So it's very difficult to hear you. It's,
okay, so perhaps now it's better. Now it's time to move to the second demo case concept to be presented by Beatriz Vinegra. I think you should be able to share your screen.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Stefano. Okay, I think I cannot share because someone is sharing.
Okay, so Igor, perhaps you could stop
I will just a second.
Mm-hmm.
What is this?
Or I think.
Yeah, just a second. Where is that? No.
Maybe. Okay, I think I can.
Did you?
I can stop your screen
sharing. I will stop it now. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay now. Is it?
Great. Now, Beatriz.
No, thank
okay,
you.
Sorry.
Thank you, but no worries. Okay, I will share my whole screen because I will share also some videos related to the demo case. So let me know if you can see my.
I think you frozen. I don't know if it's just me or it's no. Now it's back perhaps.
No, it froze.
No, it froze. Okay, so we're experiencing some technical problems. I don't know, Beatriz is perhaps linked to your connection or your screen sharing.
I'm sorry. I don't know why is something an error appears or something like that. I will try to share again. If not,
I can do it.
you have my presentation, so I can
do it.
continue with you sharing your screen. I will try just the last time. Okay. I will share just my presentation, and you can share the video. Or I don't know why. Okay.
Now it's working.
Okay, now it's working.
Great.
And you can hear my voice correctly.
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. So thank you very much. Before I'm going to the demo case proposal, I wanted to introduce a little bit the context of this demo case and the artificial intelligence solutions for the deployment of unmanned aerial system as a service that is built under the Civil WAPS initiative. And this Civil WAPS initiative, as you can see here, is a strategic initiative led by the Xunta de Galicia, which is the region of Galicia, that aims to promote innovative solutions based on unmanned aerial system or vehicle to improve the provision of public services and to create the aerospace pole industry in the region. So the provision of these public services through these innovative solutions that is developed in the combination of WAPS technology and the artificial technology are solutions that are focused in specific strategic areas. Specific strategic areas that we will see that all the solutions that have developed, and some of them you will see under this demo case, are, for instance, the water quality, increasing the fishing fleet safety, the forestry control and management, territory planning and management, automation of cartographic and topographic information, and improvement of health assistance in remote places. So all the solutions are developed under this combination of these two main technologies, and developed also under the training and testing center that is part of the Civil WAPS initiative. So what you will see, I wanted to share just a brief video, just to show briefly, so what is the scope of this regional initiative that has reached in the first 5 years a total investment of 164 million, and in the next period of 5 years, it will reach more than 400 million. So I wanted to show just very briefly this context, because is basically how it was built, this demo case. I will go just one moment to this video. I'm not sure if you are going to hear the video, but I'm pretty sure you are going to. If you cannot hear it's just to show you very briefly the demo center, and that is basically part of the core main activity of the Civil WAPS initiative. This is the aerodrome and the demo and training center. That most of the solutions are developed here to cover all the specific areas that I have mentioned previously. So there are different types of WAPS. So one of helicopters, and one there are I will stop because I will continue the presentation. You cannot hear what is the video saying, but as you can see, mostly what are the initiative and the main solutions that we're developing, and the strategic areas, as I mentioned, that is focus the public services that the innovation solutions are basically covering. Just one second. And about the demo case. So about the demo case, the main objective of this demo case is to demonstrate the capabilities of the WAS in the combination with the artificial intelligence to make decisions based on the possible data, based on the best possible data. The main elements to demonstrate this functionality are first focus on the necessary data acquisition capabilities of the WAS and the operational capability WAS of the unmanned aerial system to make real-time decision for instance, in a contingency landing of the WAS based on two cases, on two scenarios, on the data acquisition itself and on the result obtained. And the expected result of this project are the new methods based on the intelligence and effective use of the WAS that I will allow greater efficiency of the operation in different productive sectors. The selling proposition under this, the selling proposition, it will be focused on three main aspects here. So the first one is to provide advanced and smart solution using these two technologies combined, so the artificial intelligence and the unmanned aerial system, and that will reduce, obviously, that will reduce the environmental, human, economic, and other impacts significantly. And that will allow different key elements. So the first one is access to complex sites, for instance, industrial facilities. Simple and effective deployment of using local airspace. And the actual use of airspace, for instance, for logistic facility that can be used, the actual use of the airspace. Increase the processing capabilities for the real-time management on the decision making. This is a key aspect that are included here in the first main objective under the selling proposition. And the second key point is the demonstration of a viable and accessible solution to SMEs. So this element is one of the key elements under the Civil WAPS initiative. Is quite important, the involvement, and you will see in the next slide, the involvement of SMEs and other kind of entities involved in the Civil WAPS initiative as an industrial pole, aerospace industrial pole in the region. Another one is the training of SMEs in the WAS combined with AI application. So this is already working on one of the key elements in the Civil WAPS initiative, and it will be under the demo case proposal. As regarding the regions involved right now, the Galicia, so the Galicia region is led right now the demo case, and actually we have the person, so it has been involved. So from the very beginning of this demo case concept note, it was when we was defined the demo case. So we have been, so it has been in contact with several regions, and in this process that it was defined, this demo case, so there are no official engagements. So we would like to use actually this space, this opportunity to call for interesting regions that will be basically interested in the application of this application and development of these solutions. So you will see then the industry and the final users of this demo case are basically a conglomerate of different sectors and regions and potential conglomerates of clusters that are working on this line. We would like also to make the call and get in contact with them. So we use this opportunity to summarize and to highlight this. But so regarding Galicia, what is Galicia is contributing with the aerospace pole industry that has been created in 2015. So what has been created since then? So 65 R&D projects, basically using the combination of these two main technology. 55 companies are basically created or working under the Civil WAPS initiative. 40, just to highlight that 40 of them are from Galicia. And And this company basically are developing, in terms of high tech product and services, are developing 100 or have developed 114 products and services. The total output that has produced or has reached is 655, and it's also including the demo testing and training facility. So this is what Galicia is contributing in under this demo case. The target group, we have three main target group here. So the first one is SMEs from the aerospace industry and adjoining centers, for instance, telecommunication, artificial intelligence. And the second type of target groups are the final user industries that we have selected, or we have identified key to potential final users here for final user industries. So the first one is productive sectors. So for instance, industrial production system, energy is from the energy sector, and industrial from the industrial sector. So for all the inspections for public works, hydraulic or gas pipeline or power lines is one of the key technologies that are being using for these kind of solutions, for this kind of solutions that are addressing this specific need. Also, the other type of user industry is the green economy industry, SMEs and large companies. And the third type of groups is machine and software providers. And the activities already done under this demo case. We summarize, because this is under the Civil WAPS initiative, we summarize three general lines of action. So the first one is the automatic algorithms based on identification of component or element from image from different type of sensors, as you can see here: optical, infrared, multispectral, lidar, etc. The second type of line of action is automatic contingency resolution algorithms. And I have included here an example, and I think it will be more visual, which is basically this kind of line of action is working on. And that is in terms of contingency landing, or there is a Lua drone. It was developed by Backup under the Civil WAPS initiative, and is the first professional, as you can see, is the first professional WAPS prepared to transport the defibrillator in emergency cases, in remote places, in remote areas. So this was developed for the Camino Santiago, for the St. James, St. James Way. And I will show you the video, just 1 second. 1 second. Here. Okay. Okay. Even though you cannot hear it, you can see there, this is the helicopter WAPS, and Backup is the one who is developed this this drone and this WAPS, and is carry out all the tests and transporting the defibrillator and medical equipment, and with the drone, and is able to transport. Actually, is able to transport the defibrillator of transport defibrillator 20 kilometers from its base of operation in less than 10 minutes. And the Junta, the government of Galicia, intends to create a cardio-protected corridor alongside all the Camino Santiago, which is 155 kilometers. So the key aspect here is the the helicopter, so the unmanned aerial vehicle, it can be landing in a specific place to respond to these emergency services. However, if it's the key aspect also is that it can be land and can respond in specific circumstance in this landing process, in the landing operations. So, so this is one of the key projects that it was developed under the Civil Ops Initiative. So come back here to the presentation. And so the third line, we will say the third line of action, it was the automatic food delivery. And the main output that we can summarize in this, all the solution and products that has been developed under the combination of these two main technology are the low size, weight, and power reduction of sensors, and those algorithms that has been created to respond to the needs or to respond to the main priorities defined under the program, under the goals. The plan activities, so we have summarized a general guidelines for these plan activities. So the first one, so all the inter-regional cooperation, it will be developed on these three key steps. So the first is the adaptation of this sensor if it's necessary, according to the needs defined. And development and according to the needs also defined under the industry target, development of specific algorithms, testing the complete system, including the WAS platform, and the application of these tests in the target user industry, as I mentioned before. Our team, I have included here all the persons who are involved. You will find here Belén Picos and Chema Maiz, who are with us, who are responsible in the direction and operation of the Civil Ops Initiative. And you will find here as well the contact details as well from Manuel Paris, who is with us as well, and myself, who are responsible for the management of this demo case. And for more information or further information about the Civil Ops Initiative and what is the key programs and key priorities defined under this initiative, you will find here in the website. I just wanted to show you just briefly that all the information, it will be here. So the key lines based on this memo case, you will find under this website here. And that's all from my side. My colleagues also are here. So as I say, Belén Picos, Chema Maiz, Manuel Paris, for any question also regarding the demo case proposal.
Great, many thanks, Beatriz, also to you for this presentation. There is already a question for you, and with this we actually open now officially our question and answer slot. First of all, let me just recap a few of the let's say questions that we got here in the chat previously. So everything will be recorded and made available on our website, which is actually the one that you can find now in the chat box. So that's the official website of the pilot. You can find all the information as well as the presentation there. So first question that we've got to Beatriz from Alex van Geltrop from East Netherlands. So how do you define OIS? Do smaller systems such as drone also fall within this area of interest, or you focus only on larger transport vehicle? And Alex actually correctly said that there would be, of course, overlap in the technological challenges that UAVs, regardless from their size, they actually have. So do you want to pick it up, Beatriz, or do you want some of your colleagues to pick this up?
I'm not sure if some of my colleagues in the direction of the Civil Ops Initiative are with us. what I see, the question, just Stefano, correct me if I'm wrong, is from Alex, right?
Yeah.
Okay, is that one? Okay.
Is that one, right?
Okay. Not sure if my colleague, if no, I will respond. Okay. And I think he's having problems to connecting to Chema Baez. I don't know. Stefano, can the attendees can join the session or not?
I think they can now. Chelabai should be able to speak. Can it be?
Because
okay, can you hear? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Please, can you repeat the question?
So the question is actually, how do you define UAS? Do smaller systems such as drones also fall within the area of interest of this possible demo case, or you aim at focusing only on larger transportation vehicles, such as this fixed wing aircraft that we see in the video? I guess that was the question, yeah?
No. The process is not limited to, so to say, professional UAVs or UAS. Okay. In the case that some other partners are willing to enter and to cooperate with us, it won't be limited to the platforms that we have developed. If they have other platforms, we can use them. In fact, you have only seen a few of them, but we have used for some specific applications. We have used smaller UAS. So there is no problem. There is no limit to this kind of proposals. Okay. And in fact, what we have already done is to develop small systems, so low weight, size and power systems that could be used in other platforms, particularly because they are cheap and they are technically very good, and they allow you to apply specific algorithms that are very intelligent because they can collect very precise data. That's so we can share the platforms, we can share the sensors, or we can share the algorithms, or we can adapt or develop any one of those elements.
Great, thanks a lot. I think these actually answered the question from Alex van Geltrop, and of course, we can always put you in touch, yeah, so we can continue this exchange offline, especially looking toward the actual establishment of the demo case.
Yes, Stefano, if I may add just
yes, sure.
Comment. And thank you for answering this question so wide. Just a suggestion from our side as maybe coordinators of VI pilot. As we said several times, of course, and you know very well, we are focusing a lot on providing support, especially to SMEs. So in a sense, when developing the demo case, a good path to follow, but not the only one, of course, would be to listen to SMEs' needs in the field we are operating in. So hopefully the question is a good question from my point of view, because it highlights that smaller vehicles most probably are more easy to be used from SMEs operating in small fields and operating on reduced production lines, or needing to monitor well-defined, let me say, geographical spots, or just production lines again, or just to monitor delivery. There are a lot of applications. So a suggestion we can put on the table is to ask SMEs what they need from the UA sector, and work on the definement of the demo case, also collecting hints from the pilot environment. So thank you for the presentation, both to Dr. Viniegra and Professor Skranz. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there any other question? I don't see any in the Q&A, and I don't see any in the chat box. So of course you don't have to feel forced to type your question right now. You can always get back to us at a later stage, and we will, as I mentioned, either answer your question directly or refer to the most relevant person that will be able to answer your question. And of course, also supporting this conversation and fostering the connection between the region and the stakeholders. Great, as I don't see any further question arising, I think that we can thank once again the demo cases presenters of the day. And as I mentioned before, you can get in touch with them directly and with us, of course, to flag your interest to participate in the possible demo case, and also, of course, in the existing demo case that we have seen in the first half of the day. Just to give you a flavor of what setting up officially a demo case is, actually there will be some formal next step in 2022 before officially turning the concept that you have here today into actual demo case. It's nothing trivial, it's nothing really special, but we will be done actually by us together, so by us as co-lead together with the demo case, leading region if necessary. So just for you to know that it's going to happen earlier next year. Good, I think that we can. Yes.
Stefano, sorry, I think there is an attendee, Stefano Marzolo, who raised.
I didn't see the. Okay, so you can give the speaking rights. Sorry, I didn't see the hand.
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes. Thank you.
Hello. So good morning, everybody. I'm here on behalf of Polimi. Sergio Gusmeroli couldn't attend because he had to stay in another meeting, so he asked me to attend. I would like to make just a very short comment from the AI Regio point of view, referring to the earlier interventions of Domenico and also of Dr. Mateis about the searching of collaboration. First of all, about the collaboration among the LabGrid and the didactic factories of AI Regio. That is very welcome by AI Regio. Domenico knows this absolutely well, and AI Regio is very much willing to support this. Besides, probably you are already aware of this. I just wanted to mention that inside the AI Regio, we have 17 experiments plus 3 open calls already established and 16 open calls more that are to come in the future. If any of you is interested, AI Regio is willing to make them available, this experiment, if this can help to broaden the base of knowledge that you are developing inside the AI pilot. So if any of you has some interest in the AI Regio experiments, AI Regio will be very much willing to share them with you. And in this case, you can address myself or Sergio, whom you know very well.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. And sorry once again for having missed your.
It's okay. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other question or comments? I have now checked the participant list and I think I didn't miss anyone. So as I was saying, now back to Domenico for the last presentation of the day. And I think, Domenico, you can share once again your screen.
Yes, thank you, Stefano. Just start sharing. Indeed, there will be really a really short presentation, just one slide, but we will talk about some topics and main goals for the next steps of the AI pilot in 2022, so next coming year. First, thank you, Francesco, for your for intervent. Of course, the activities performed by the AI Regio projects are really relevant, as you know, and in particular, open calls that you mentioned will be, of course, of interest both for already running demo cases inside the pilot, but also for new coming demo cases that can be interested in exploit this opportunity coming from the AI Regio project to set up new experiments as are defined inside the AI Regio projects that can be relevant for the setup of the demo case itself. So thank you again for your intervention. Going to the last slide of this presentation on main goal and next steps. As we already said before, there are a lot of activities going on inside the pilot managing group. We are supporting and the development and the setup of new demo cases. We will support the 2 demo cases to have a good definition level in order to be approved by the steering committee in next steps, in next meetings. Sure, we support already running demo cases, but also new ones in their connect and demonstrate phase respectively. And we would like to stress on the demonstrate phase of the already running demo cases in order to allow them develop and deploy concrete services to SMEs directly supporting their innovation acquisition. More, as we already said, we are strongly working on finding a good positioning at European level in the frame of already running initiatives for the AI pilot as a whole, but also for demo cases at operative level. And we will foster the participation of demo cases at already existing initiatives and networks that are technically relevant for their activities, in order both to allow them develop concrete and active proposals for the already running initiatives and get in touch with other relevant stakeholders that can be involved directly as participants for the demo cases, but also as final end users, for example, namely SMEs and other networks or initiatives that can be interested in the services provided by the demo cases. Last but not least, in the framework of cooperation that we were mentioning before, we find relevant to continue interaction and cooperation and dialogue with other Vanguard initiative pilots. We have already contacts with some of them, and we are imagining some cooperations on the basis of the idea that AI is a strongly cross-cutting technology and has several sectors of applications. As we saw in the previous presentations, AI has applications in industrial sectors, in health sectors, in non-industrial sectors, meaning all the sectors that are not intended to be included in well-identified industrial value chains. So the idea is to put together all the opportunities and the knowledge about AI application and work on wide cooperation on several topics. This would be great for the pilot, and will be what we will imagine, what we are imagining for next steps inside the Vanguard initiative, but also interacting with other initiatives outside the Vanguard initiative. So these are the 3 main points we are aiming at as goals for the pilot, and we will work on as next steps. From an operative point of view, the pilot will continue the activities starting since the first month of the year with setting up the technical and scientific committee of the pilot itself, and just asking the demo case proposals we have proposers presented today to define the demo cases at an operative level in order for them to be approved as soon as possible by the steering committee and start operatively their activities inside the pilot. Next, we are planning to have another plenary meeting probably at in the middle of the year in order to present the first results of this setup of new demo cases, and we will foster the ideation of concrete use cases inside the demo cases in order to involve directly both SMEs and companies inside the activities of the demo case. One point that will be of strong interest for the pilot will be the involvement of local stakeholders from participating regions into demo cases. And this is part of the whole bottom-up approach that we have always been working on inside the pilot. So in this sense, for all regions that will be interested to join, we will ask, of course, to provide, next to the formal interest of the region itself, at least one actor of the innovation ecosystem to be involved in one of the demo cases of the pilot. This will be relevant in order to work on a concrete basis and to help also demo cases and all the pilot activities to be interesting from an SME point of view, and not just from a regional perspective. Last but not least, one of the keywords of the next year will be, of course, interregional cooperation, as it has been in last steps of the pilot. We will work on setting up concrete interregional cooperation inside the demo cases, but also outside, because we think that, and it is not just our opinion, it is a matter of fact that interregional cooperation is one of the key factors for next funding opportunities that are coming on an EU side, but also on a private side. There is a strong push on setting up opportunities for interregional innovation for SMEs and companies. So we will work a lot on this. This was the last one, I think, from my side. Then there is, of course, a reminder of the website that Stefano mentioned before, the artificial intelligence webpage on the Vanguard Initiative website. You will find there information, contacts, our contacts, and updates on the activities, news and events, and of course some information on how to reach out to us and how to participate, both for regions, but more interesting for local stakeholders that are willing to join in demo cases. This was all from my side. Stefan, I don't know if there are other points in the chat.
All for everyone. Actually, there is no question in the chat. There was another question regarding how to best collaborate or to get in touch in case of an interest. Just want to stress that the best way usually is to get in touch with us, with the pilot co-leaders, to help us understand also the kind, your profile and the kind of collaboration platform that you do have in mind, or that you would like to set up, of course. I think, yes, that this was all from our side. And once again, I just want to thank you all, to thank all the speakers, especially for the very interesting presentation, for the great time management because we managed to finish actually perfectly on time. And I think from my side, what's left to do is to thank you all the participants, and also to wish you all a relaxing holiday time and a nice Christmas, given the fact that we are just 12 days away. Great. Then once again, thanks a lot. And you will have all the presentation and all the materials available on our website in the next days. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much to everyone.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Stay healthy.